Make sure you put the volume all the way down.
I did.
Okay. But it's like a 30-second lag. And I forgot I had the audio off. So, should have the audio on now. So. All right. You have it streaming?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be right back. I hate it here. I want to go home. All the kids are mean.
I'm so excited to tell what we're going to do today.
I'm going to drop everything I own.
Why you did that? Why you did that?
In case there's a phone call, it doesn't cut it off. So I can watch the...
All right.
All right, so... Welcome. I'm Jay.
I'm Marie.
And we're trying our hand at live streaming again.
Yeah. Like rebrand kind of our jam sesh or something.
Right, and if you're not familiar, a jam sesh is just Jay and Marie. And we're going to use this opportunity to, what are we doing today?
We do something that we like to consume, and we decide to, why not to do this fun thing with you.
And what is that fun thing?
Oh, it's Reddit Stories.
Right, so we'll get better at this for sure.
Maybe.
Probably.
Probably yes.
But we're going to read some Reddit stories, some Am I the Assholes? And then we're just going to share our opinions on them. So as far as I know, these stories are already closed out. People already voted. But we're just going to express our opinion on them. And if you like this, let us know. We'll continue. If you know some good Reddit stories that you want to share with us, send them our way. Yeah. GoodSoup_prod on all platforms. You could DM us on Instagram. Leave a comment down below. And yeah, I think without further ado, let's get started.
Oof.
All right, so I'll read them, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
All right.
Pickle.
Am I the asshole because my dirty coworker... let me start that again. Am I the asshole because my dirty coworker got fired after I stopped giving him a ride to work? So, I've been getting some flack at work because a well-liked coworker of ours got fired for repeated absences after I stopped giving him a ride to work. Background. I'm an active duty military mid-level healthcare provider, and he was an entry-level civilian contractor. We both worked at a large military hospital. Earlier this year, John, 20-year-old male, who recently started working at the hospital, was asking around our department for people he can carpool with. Everyone gave various reasons why they couldn't help, and eventually, I volunteered because he lived nearby, and it wouldn't be out of my way to pick him up. I'll preface this by noting John was very well liked in our department, with most of the older ladies adopting them as their work son, etc. He's also the youngest employee by almost a decade, so 10 years. The issue started about 1 month in when I noticed every morning after I picked him up, he would bring various food products to eat on the drive to work. This didn't bother me at first, but as time went on, he was leaving food trash and crumbs in my vehicle. I'm an extremely clean individual, so this bothered me and I said something. He continued eating and kept forgetting to clean after himself in the car. I was getting tired of constantly reminding him to take his trash with him, and I started just throwing the trash away myself. After doing this a few times, I decided just to leave the trash and see if he would notice. He didn't. For weeks, the empty water bottles, Red Bull cans, candy wrappers, and empty containers started piling up in by my passenger door and floorboard, and stayed until I asked him politely, "Could you take that trash with you?" His response was, "Yeah, of course, I don't mind." Made me feel like he thought it was mine and I was asking him for a favor. There's more examples, but to keep things short, I gave him an ultimatum. He needed to clean up after himself and respect my car, or he would need to find another ride to work. Not even a week later, he was eating some type of meal with flaky crackers, and it was spilling on his lap the entire ride to work. When we pulled into the parking garage, he dusted all of the food crumbs from his lap onto my carpet. We left the car and went to work. After work, when I returned to my car, there was ants inside of my vehicle. I've had enough, so I made up an excuse and told him I couldn't give him rides. He took it well, and the ride stopped. But over the next few weeks, his lateness started to pile up. His agency fired him in September. We're not privy to contractors' personal issues, but everyone assumes he was fired for being chronically late. Fast forward to today, while I'm on break, I overheard some folks saying he was fired because I stopped giving him a ride to work, and that was selfish of me, etc. I never told anyone except him why I stopped, and I'm assuming he told them some half-baked truth, and because he was well-liked, I know they believe him. Am I the asshole?
I said no, not the asshole. I just have experience to deal with the people who's really messy, even if you share something with them. And it's his business. Like the storyteller, not the asshole, because he don't want to bring this person to work. It's not his work. And if he be a fire, it's his problem.
Seems pretty clear cut and dry. Yeah, I don't think he is. And I wish I picked a better story. This is pretty clear cut.
But I must tell you, I had experience like this before. No, I told you that or no? I don't know. When I lived in a dorm, I lived with a girl who's look like angel, beautiful girl. But until you know how to live with her, she was like really messy. She can eat the food and left the plate. We share the room together. Like me and her, we live in the same room in a dorm. And she eat the food, she left the plate for days. And then she come back, she take her socks and put them on a table close by this dish. Then one weekend, she decided to do the pedicure, and she cut the toenails and put in that plate where there was food laying down for almost a week. And I said, like, do you think you can clean it? And she just like, yeah, I can do it. So she's like not denial. She don't say like, oh no, I don't gonna do it, it's not your business. No, she just like, yeah, I'm gonna clean it. But the thing that she do that, at first, when we just start living together, I clean after her. So she left the plate, and I just can't live knowing there's a plate with the food on it. That's disgusting. That's me. Some people can, I can't. But I was so mad at her, and she don't understand why. But she definitely wasn't fired from anywhere because she doesn't clean after herself. I think there is a major issue with the person. Probably it was not only with the food, it was with the other stuff too. Being late, probably being not really clean during the work. That how I understand they work in a hospital or something. That's really important. You want to check in?
Yeah, take a quick break.
That's really important that so the idea probably that he was fired because he was not a good worker. Even if he's young and he's worked there and everyone take him as a friend and being really, really understanding towards him, he's probably not the good worker.
Yeah, I think ultimately like what this person's like asking about is like whether or not they should feel responsible because they said they'll take him to work. and then they ultimately stopped taking him to work because, well, he was messing up the car.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think the issue is a lot more underlying than just being a messy person.
Yeah.
Like, why weren't they able to make it to work on time?
But it's really fun. It's really not fun to say it's your fault because he was fired.
Sure.
Like
That wasn't the most salacious story,
no,
but we're warming up.
we're warming up.
Hopefully these next ones are better. These were kind of chosen a little at random. We're just trying this out for the first time again, if anyone's watching. We're just trying to kind of open up about ourselves a little bit when we read these stories and share our own perspectives. So like the theme of some of these stories are like related to work. Like my previous job before the one I had, I didn't really work too much with other coworkers. So I never really had too many of those kind of experiences. My current job, like I work more in proximity with other people. So maybe these issues will come in more and more, like as I get used to working in the workplace. And you've had a lot of experience working in offices and stuff.
Yeah, dealing with the people is always, even if everything good in the beginning, sooner or later you find out that someone did something that you don't like, and it depends on you if you want to deal with it or you just say no, thank you.
Okay. All right, you want me to read the next story? See if that gets a little.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Take 1 second. So this one is a little bit about like coworker relations and like people feeling a little too familiar with each other, I think. And I'm just going off of the title, which you see right here. Am I the asshole for calling my coworker work sister after she called me work husband in front of everyone? Right off the bat, no. I don't really go too well with those like really familiar work relationships. Like you can have friends and stuff, but like once it starts going past that, I feel uncomfortable. Like I haven't had like any experiences like that, but I've seen that happen in the workplace.
I mean, if you're an actor and you like for a long time playing in the same role, husband and wife, you can call your partner your working wife.
Even
You know
then,
what I mean?
no. Even then, not so much. It is work. That's how I feel about it. Even if you're acting, it's still a job. Any job, I think you shouldn't be. I'm kind of a hard line with that.
Okay.
Like you shouldn't. I mean, we just saw that whole thing with the Coldplay concert, and the CEO and the head of HR like getting caught in the affair and stuff. And I feel like a lot of those problems can be avoided if you avoid those super familiar relationships with people you work with. And there's ways to go about it if that's what you want to do. But I think like I said, I have a hardline position on it. Like, you shouldn't be that familiar with your coworkers in that sense. Like, you can have friends, and you can do like extracurricular stuff, but anything past that, I'm not a huge fan of. I'm just being honest. But let me read the story. It's a little bit long.
Okay.
And away we go. I, a 34-year-old male, I did not write this. I work in a small office, and we had about 30 people working here. Mary, a 35-year-old female, is one of my coworkers. We had been working together for 6 years now. We have 6 people in our department, and we have to frequently travel across the state as our work involves overseeing government projects. We always travel in a group of 2. Although my travel partner changes based on the project, Mary and I are generally put on similar projects and enjoy each other's company. My wife also likes Mary. Overall, we have a very healthy work relationship. On to the incident. Yesterday, we had a happy hour in our office.
Happy hour?
Happy hour is like when you go with your coworkers after work and have a few drinks.
Okay.
And some places like between 5 and 7 will have like discounted drinks. So that's what we call happy hour.
Okay, I got it.
Yesterday, we had a happy hour in our office, which, before we continue, that's another thing that I don't like.
Happy hours?
No, drinking with like coworkers at the office.
Oh yeah.
I never really
agree.
experienced
It's
that. Like I would drink with coworkers after work when I drank, but like doing it at the office, it's just weird to me. But let me continue. We were all drinking after work hours and chatting. It was a group of around 10 people that stayed back. Mary was blabbering about how we both have been traveling together so much in the last year. She was roasting me for my habits while traveling, like always forgetting my stuff in my hotel room being sweaty and stinky when I join her for breakfast in the morning because I go to the hotel gym. I lost my spot. Because I go to the hotel gym. Everyone was laughing and everyone was laughing and she was making it sound how unbearable I was to tag along. All in good fun. I also told some funny and sweet stories about her and agreed with her saying that it can be difficult to be with, excuse me, and agreed with her saying that I can be difficult to be with sometimes. Mary came to me and hugged me tightly and told me that she loves me and I'm her work husband. It was all innocent on the surface, but she might have been a bit drunk and just didn't let go of her tight hug. Also, I hate that phrase, as I do have a wife that I promise to be with forever, and not just in non-working hours. After a few seconds, I started becoming uncomfortable and also saw a few people staring at us. So to diffuse the situation, I took her hands off my shoulder and I told her she was my work sister, and that is why I love to annoy her so much. That seemed to have upset Mary, and she left and went back to her desk and was sobbing silently. I tried to apologize to her, but she told me how embarrassing the whole situation was. She said that she meant work husband in a platonic way, but calling me her work sister made her sound like a creep in front of the whole office. She was also angry that I aggressively removed her hands from my shoulders while hugging. I tried to reason with her that I do not like the work husband phrase, and also people gave dirty looks when she said it. So, I was just trying to make sure people didn't take her words in the wrong way. We talked for a few minutes afterwards and Mary calmed down. She hugged me again and left. I felt really guilty afterwards because I can see Mary's point. I made her sound like a creep by implying that she meant something inappropriate when she called me her work husband. However, I was a bit uncomfortable in the situation and just did not want people to call us that or assume something wrong. Am I the asshole for calling Mary my work sister? I'm sitting in my office writing this and a bit worried if I embarrass Mary in front of everyone.
What's your thoughts about that?
Well, like I said, I'm kind of hardline position in that where like things like that can happen. Like you drink.
A little bit more open up and start talking against whatever it's like good for office worker.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, like drinking is kind of like something you do with people that you're really familiar with, and you might be friends with certain people, but you never know like how certain people are gonna take or say or anything. Like, what am I trying to say? So obviously, she said that work husband thing, which can have other people feeling like, oh, is there something going on here that we don't know about?
Them, yeah.
And yeah, what do you think?
I'm sure he's not an asshole. And I understand that she's maybe don't mean anything bad. But
she was kind of hugging him tightly and saying that I love you.
She was drunk.
Yeah, but that's kind of pushing a line, and like if that happened to me, I would feel super uncomfortable.
And I also don't like the idea to talking about if you go somewhere with someone like a working trip, whatever, and in the end you just like, oh yeah, this person is sweaty or he's just lose some stuff or whatever. It's just like, why? Like you probably not really like you're talking about him like it's your actual husband. It's like, oh, my husband, he's always like you're not talking about the coworkers that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like two personal things. Like I understand you together, but it's just I don't know, it just doesn't feel okay. I think she meant something inappropriate.
And even if she didn't, it's really just based on how he feels, right?
Yeah.
Like he's married.
He
feels uncomfortable with her grabbing him like that in front of everyone. And like at first he thought like, oh, the jokes are funny, ha ha ha, that's cool. And sure, whatever. But like wrapping him around real tightly. And then the fact that she went back to her desk and cried and she was worried about being called a creep. Like call me silly or whatever, but if you're worried about being called a creep, more than likely you're doing some creepy shit.
Yeah. And I also believe that people not thinking about you as long as they have a own life. They have some comments.
Yeah, let's read some comments. Because he did respond to a couple.
Okay.
All right. I think you meant to ask in your last sentence if you're the asshole for calling her your work sister, not work wife. Regardless, no, you're not the asshole. All too often, work spouses end up being inappropriately involved, and you're trying to heat off any rumors. Good on you. I think your work sister is a much better term. Oh, it looks like he made an initial typo, and he thanked her for catching the typo. But then he did write, "Thanks for catching the typo. I am too nervous this morning to face her." Let's see what else. The fact that she got dirty looks from other coworkers about it makes me wonder if they're picking up on vibes OP isn't, or possibly wasn't before now, or if she said inappropriate things about him to them.
Yeah. Because like I said, you don't know. She said that some stuff like in front of the everyone, but if she do this in front of the everyone, she can talk something just specifically to a specific person.
Oh, got a guest on the line. Goodbye, Ben.
We don't have ban anymore.
We have row cats here over
yeah.
at Good Soup.
Yeah. So yeah, the situation is like really uncomfortable because you don't want like they like each other in a way. They like work with each other and everything and make someone feel bad, but always think about yourself. Always think about yourself. If you're uncomfortable when someone calls you that name, you can just say, I don't like it. He also can just do that separately when they was alone, not in front of everyone. But she is also can say that alone, not in front of everyone. She decided to be that way. I don't know. That's sad actually. You want to go to the next story?
No, not yet.
No, yep. You have something to add?
Looks like there's an update.
Ooh, nice.
All right, update. I posted this on about calling my coworker Mary my work sister after she tried to call me her work husband in front of the entire office. A lot of you are asking for an update, but that sub does not allow me to post update, so I'm writing it here. Thanks everyone for your comments and giving me confidence that I didn't do anything wrong or inappropriate. As I was sitting in the office the next day, I knew things would be a bit awkward between Mary and me. Mary ignored me the whole morning. Initially, I was planning to go and apologize to her, but after the post, I decided that I do not need to do that, as I should be the one who was offended. Everyone in the office could see we were acting weird, and I heard some people gossiping about us. One of the ladies also came to me and asked me if I wanted to talk about Mary and me. Around 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I was sitting in my office working. Mary came into my office and closed the door behind her. She was angry at me and started saying I need to stop being an asshole and stop ignoring her. I told her to sit and to talk about what is going on. She told me that she feels humiliated, and everyone has been staring at her the whole morning because of what I did. I also stood my ground and told her that I was okay with her making fun of me, but calling me her work husband and hugging me in front of everyone for a long time made the situation awkward. She told me to get over myself and that I should know exactly what she meant. Mary said that I made a big deal of what was supposed to be a joke and made it awkward for everyone. She said calling someone work husband is a normal thing and just means that she knows me intimately like a spouse would. She said that because we spent so much time traveling together, she knows all the intimate details of how I behave outside of work. I stopped and told her I felt offended by the term work husband because I have a wife and I do not want people to use that term to describe our relationship. I told her that she would not understand as she is single, but as a married man, I really do not want anyone to describe me as a husband in any capacity. She said that I am again misinterpreting what she is saying. She felt that as we have known each other for, excuse me, I'm thirsty.
Better?
Yeah. She said that I am again misinterpreting what she was saying. She felt that as we have known each other more time than I have been married, she knows me more intimately than even my wife. I have no idea why she feels that way. And I also behave like her husband when we travel together. She went on about how we go to our dinners together after work and how I insist on having breakfast together in the morning to plan our actions of the day. And I walk around in my underwear, referring to my gym shorts, around her in mornings. She also talked about how we spend hours talking to each other during road trips and how I'm the only man she can trust with any secrets in her life. She said that I'm the definition of work husband and I'm just in denial. I was a bit angry at this point.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
bad.
I told her that I do all that because I consider her my friend, and she is delusional if she feels she knows me more intimately than my wife. I told her I do not want to hear that term again, and it is extremely disrespectful to my marriage. Only one woman gets to call me her husband, and that is my wife. Moreover, if my actions are giving her such ideas, maybe we need to stop being friends. She became apologetic afterwards and told me she did not mean to disrespect my wife, and it was not her intention. She apologized to me and told me to just let it go. She said that she loves traveling with me and she does not want anything to change between us. She again said that I'm misinterpreting her statement and just wants to move on. She came to hug me again, but I just told her it was okay and stepped back. I also talked to my wife about the incident that night. As expected, my wife was angry at Mary and told me that she hates the term work husband. She asked me if Mary has ever flirted with me during our trips or has a crush on me. I truthfully told her that I really have not felt that way, and she may have just said that because she was a bit drunk and is now being stubborn about it. My wife said that she feels a bit uncomfortable about Mary now, and she says that it's strike one for Mary, and I need to try to put more distance between us while traveling. If she ever repeats the same behavior again, I should report her to HR. I promised my wife that I would try to reduce my interactions with Mary outside work hours and be more guarded around her.
That's that's bad. He need to like she's definitely feel something more talking about I know you more than your wife. Like I know you before, so I know you better. Like no, this lady if she's like she's probably have a trouble, like a big trouble. She's probably in love with him in a way like, "Oh, you acting like my husband." And she's not married. It's just a man in her life and she's wanna be with him because yeah, what's stopping you to be a friend and a work husband? Yeah, I understand what you're talking about this, and I understand how a wife feels bad. It's like, yeah, I know this person and this person like yeah, no. She's a red flag. She's like a huge red flag.
Now, you just spoke about it like on a personal level. Professionally, professionally, what should he do at this point?
Separate from her, take someone else on the trips. Definitely. I'm not sure he can if he's not on top of her in a like a level at work. He can fire her, and if she do her work good, good. But what if he just take another partner to go somewhere? But also, if she have another partner, she may start acting with another man the same way.
Well, it doesn't seem like he's in any position of authority. He doesn't get to choose who he travels with. They just get assigned. That being said,
He needs to go to HR and talk about that. Say like, I don't gonna work with this person because.
yeah, I hate to sound like a training video.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if anything happens, you should report it to HR.
Mm-hmm.
But like the biggest thing with this is that not only did she say things that made him uncomfortable, she touched him in a way that made him uncomfortable, and she did it in front of people.
What if she is HR?
Well, I hate to sound like a training video. There are different levels that you can report to, and you should report to their manager or corporate, depending on your work situation. But
I
no,
totally agree. Totally
I think
agree.
the biggest thing to do, the best thing to do at this point is to document it. Like I said, it wasn't just a private conversation like what
People
happened the
hear
next
it.
day.
Yeah.
It it happened in front of people. He's obviously, and I think justly, like disturbed by it. Um, and I think the best thing to do is to document it.
Yeah.
Um, we don't know this person, and up until this point, it could just be a thing where it's just like, okay, like I let my feelings get the best of me. I was drinking a little bit. Yeah, maybe we are too familiar with each
But
other.
the
I'll
next
back
day.
off. Even the next day, she was like apologizing, and she was just telling him, "Don't make a big deal out of it." But like, who's to say they won't get in that type of situation again? It seems like happy hours are a thing, traveling's a thing. Like he could do what he can to like distance himself, but I think in order to do that successfully, like the best thing to do in that situation is just get it documented, go to HR, tell them what's happening, to whatever you feel comfortable with. But like, I think if you want the best results, just be ultimately comfortable. Like to him, his main priority, like his main concern, like he cares about his relationship with his wife the most.
Mm.
He cares about his relationship with his wife the most. So like, I don't think he should necessarily care too much about how she feels if she's making him feel that uncomfortable in the
Yeah.
workplace. He should do what he needs to do to protect his job.
Yeah.
And he's open with his wife, so that's not a big deal on that front. Like we can even make it a little bit more personal. Like especially now, like I said, I work in an environment where I'm surrounded by other people, right?
Mhm.
Like before my previous job, I'll just be vague. I was a cable guy. So like I worked out of my own truck. I go into people's homes. Like I didn't get like super familiar with customers. All I did was just like my job and leave. But now I work in kind of, I guess you could call it like a factory manufacturing setting,
Mhm.
and I'm like surrounded by all types of people, um, man, woman, what have you. No children because it's America. We don't have child labor. We have child labor laws. But stupid jokes aside, like I'm surrounded by different types of people,
Yeah.
different personalities, all in a pretty confined, albeit huge space, but a confined space nonetheless. And if I came home to you and I'm like, hey, listen, like, there's this woman that I'm working with, and like, I'm friendly with her, I'm chatting with her, but like, she feels like super familiar and she's calling me her work husband. And I feel super uncomfortable about that. What would you tell me to do?
Go to HR. Report this person because this person make you uncomfortable and kind of inappropriate behavior. It can read as a harassment in one way or another. It depends of the situation, of course. But this lady definitely red flag. Like she's weird.
I think we're beyond red flags here. Like,
She's
it's a
weird.
bad environment.
Um,
It is.
environment? How environment bad?
Well, by acting the way that she's acting, she's making it a hostile work environment. She's making him feel uncomfortable for
Yeah,
feeling
I
uncomfortable.
mean, this. I'm talking about just in general. The person,
Right.
she's
Right.
probably have some issues.
Right. But what I'm saying is that by her doing what she's doing is making it a bad work environment for him.
Yes.
So, yeah, go to HR. If I was in the same situation and I was like honest with you,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you would tell me to go to HR.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if there's any interesting comments. So, excuse the brief pause. Can I have a sippy sip? Next time I'm going to bring my own drink so I won't keep sipping hers. Sorry, babe. I love you.
You might work and not work husband.
She's my only work wife because she's my actual wife.
And we work together.
That was a good one. Ooh.
I'm hurt.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You ever have this feeling? It's kind of weird that I thought about that when someone in love with you but you don't like like in like childish way, like teenage or earlier, when someone like as Valentine for you, I love you, and you just like it's so sweet, but I don't like you, and this weird feeling that you don't want to hurt that person because they not do anything bad. They're not like hurting you. They open up with their feelings, but
Sure.
at the same time, you don't feel the same way, and you feel uncomfortable, and it's like That's what I think he's feel.
No, I think it's a little bit
when
more than that.
No. I'm talking about like I don't want to make her look bad. I don't want like they do so much work together. They know each other. You know what I mean?
I do think he's expressing being more uncomfortable, and he keeps mentioning that he has a wife.
Yeah, he's uncomfortable. I don't say he's not. I don't know. Okay,
So one of the comments,
we're done.
oh, we'll grab some water in a little bit, probably before the next story. Oh, we got 4 views. I don't think anyone else is watching, but that's okay. Not the asshole is how one of the comments starts.
Mm-hmm.
I agree you should go to HR so they're aware of the situation. I would also suggest no more business trips with her if possible. The fact that she claims to know you more intimately than your wife is not only delusional and disrespectful, it's concerning.
Mm-hmm.
She's only beginning to show her crazy side. And then someone else commented, also, she said that you walk around in your underwear. I would go to HR over that comment alone.
But he can be a creep if you like, oh,
Well,
you did that.
well, he didn't. He was in his gym. He was in his
Exactly.
gym shorts.
But
Right, because she said that. Well, she said that in private conversation that he knows of with him. She could be telling other people like, "Oh, I see him in his underwear."
yeah.
I got what you're saying. Exactly. Someone else commented, exactly. He needs to have paperwork in ahead of time before she accuses him of inappropriate behavior. They need to know about the party incident. And like I said, I think that's a big deal too because it happened in front of so many people too.
Yeah.
So like,
Rumors. When you work in a company, you don't know what people talk behind your back. If someone comes to you and tell you, you know, he did this and this, trust me, they go and talk about you with someone else. So just be careful. Don't spread the rumors. Don't be involved in the rumors. And rumors unfortunately exist in this particular situation. In front of everyone, they're gonna talk about that.
before we continue, do you mind if I move the camera? I don't like this angle. It seems so weird whenever I look at it. Just gonna see if we can put it more center.
Sure.
I'm just gonna try switching the camera angle a little bit. If that sucks, we'll switch it back. Oh, I see the problem. Well, it's kind of dark back there. Do you want to move it back, or it's just like I seem so massive, you know, and it's like on my side.
So
though.
move it a little bit back.
Right, but it's like on my side the whole time.
Okay, put it a little bit on the back.
Sorry, we're just working through some technical stuff. As if you couldn't hear the whole conversation. I think this looks a little bit more natural. Because, like, I look so massive, like, so close to the camera.
Yeah, massive.
Well, that's why you wanted to sit on this side, remember?
I'm gonna sit like that, and I'm gonna look at you.
All right, let's get back to it.
Okay.
He responded back, I will talk to my manager and see what I can do with the work trip situation. We are 4 auditors in our team, and we also travel in teams of 2. So logistics may be a bit tight on that one. However, I will work with my leadership to at least create some distance between Mary and myself for some time. And other people agree, like, you can't be alone with this woman again. It would be a liability for your company to allow it. So there's a little update.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks everyone for the comments and explaining the urgency of the situation. I discussed it with my wife and have set up meetings with my manager and HR today. I plan not to file a complaint, but document what happened last week and why it made me uncomfortable. I do not have any upcoming travels this week due to holidays, but have to travel next Tuesday with her to a work site.
Pum pum.
I will discuss with my manager on what my options are. However, I feel a little distance between Mary and me for some time would be the right solution for now. So how do you feel about that?
Crazy. That's really uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and what
For him.
kind of stinks too is that it seems like his wife was like cool with her at first.
Mm-hmm. But nobody's like if someone say like, oh, you more my work husband than your husband for your wife.
Yeah, and she was even like, "Oh, I've
What?
known you longer than your wife, so I know more about you." And even if that's like kind of true that, like, "Oh, I knew you more than your wife," like that doesn't matter.
You know me as much as I let you know me.
Sure.
And my wife live with me consistently. And of course, I talk much more deeply with her and have a relationship. It's a little bit more than working relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Eesh.
Yeesh, indeed. Well, that story is over and ends happily ever after. They never talk again. Just kidding. There's a hell of an update.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to read it?
Oh, it's huge.
I feel like I need a drink first.
Okay.
Marie,
Yes.
share a story about your dog.
My dog Garrick and my husband Jay, all together, they are Jarek. J-Rick. So what do you think so far about this? I know it's maybe not craziest story, but it's really important that some stories just teach you the situations that could be possible in your life and you need to deal with them. And it's good when you have kind of example how people treat their situation. And sometimes it's really crazy and really uncomfortable. And God knows how complicated to deal with that. And thanks God, Reddit let us to know that. I heard there is a lot of fake stories, but this one sounds realistic. In a way, I I respect that guy. I respect him so much because he's respect his wife. Hi, doggy. He's respect his wife, and it's really important because I don't know what's that's dog. I don't know what's going on in the update, but I really hope, I really hope she did something crazy and being fired because she's insane, in love with the creator, and I don't know. It's just maybe she's not a bad person, just lonely and wanna attention. Who knows? It's actually the same color, but if you look on a camera, it's different. Can you pick it up? It looks like bright green, but it's not bright green.
That's the same color.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just the lighting.
Okay.
Let me get this mic set back.
Okay. Where are you going? Well, you need to go there, right?
You can see I was trying to drink some water real
You need to
fast.
put them outside.
Oh. Yeah. You can see I was trying to drink some water real fast and it spilled all over myself.
That's
I'm
fine.
a child. I'm a child. With a great singing voice.
And then we have a guest right there. Come on, jump in. You can do it. You can do it. Where do you want to lay down?
Go ahead, buddy.
Where do you want to lay down? You want to lay down?
All right, give us a second. Let's get him comfortable.
Okay. Come on. Oh, he stepped on me. No, you don't go on it. He wants to sit on the lap.
No, that's not gonna happen.
You want to come here? Boo boo. You want to come here? Come on. No, I want to be with the J. Come on.
We
Go
are
right there.
trying to get our dog
Go
situated.
right there.
Oh,
Okay. Go lay down right there.
go lay down.
Go lay down.
Go lay down.
Go.
Go lay down.
Right here.
All
Yeah,
right.
Good job, boo.
So what were you sharing with everyone before I got back?
I just said I hope there is an update. It was gonna be crazy, and she did something horrible and was fired.
I think she already did something horrible.
I'm talking about like more
But
horrible.
before we continue, like, have you ever experienced anything uncomfortable like that in the workplace?
No, I think I just straight with the boundaries at work. Um, I definitely have friends that someone spread rumors about us,
Hmm.
but after I just say like there was a situation when I work in an office and there was a guy who was like really pretty guy and all girls kind of like him and he's like a big guy and he do like like technician like computers and stuff and we go to like lunch at the same time. I don't like sit in the kitchen where there's lots of people. So we go like, and he probably like works so much. So during the people at lunch, he's working with their computers and come back. So we started doing lunch together and we just sit like different tables and just like, hey, hey, and we start talking.
Hmm.
And I seen that people start spreading rumors and I was just like, hey, do you know about that? And he just like, no, what's happened? I was like, yeah, this happened. He's just like, I actually have a girlfriend. And I'm like, we need to like, and just because we go at lunch at the same time and we just only two people who's sitting in the kitchen and people start like, oh, well, they have something in between them.
Right.
Just like, we're not even like hugging and anything. This situation is crazy.
Yeah.
And we're not even like, I don't know. We messaging it like, like a program specifically in the office when you're messaging and like everyone can see it and we can message in that like sending a memes to each other but nothing more. And when I was go away from that company someone like say like, oh, why are you not hugging her? And I'm like, I look at that lady and I'm like, why he must to? We shake the hands and we go in different directions. For some time we're talking and then just like life goes different directions from his side and my side. But it was really weird and really uncomfortable that someone spread rumors. But we don't have anything between us except like a memes because we just like spend time in a same time lunch and send memes to each other.
Right. But you see how something like so innocent could be like misconstrued.
Yeah, can you imagine if it's something
Like some
a
lady
bit
hugging
more?
you and calling you her
Yeah.
work husband.
Can you pass me a water, please?
Yeah, it's propel.
It's
Propel.
purple. Which one?
It was dark. I'm not even sure if it's propel.
You put one?
Yeah.
Ish. Berry. It's one that I don't like and only one for a huge bottle. Ah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, if you're just tuning in, we're reading a Reddit story, and you can look in the corner right here.
Right there.
Right here.
Right there.
Lower.
Right there.
R- right there.
Right there.
Am I the asshole for calling my coworker work sister after she called me work husband in front of everyone? Just to run it down real fast. They travel a lot for work together.
Yes.
She got to know him a little bit. You know, she knows some intimate details about him. You know, like they just traveled together all the time, and they were hanging out after work, having a few drinks as they do. And she blurted out like, "Oh, you're my work husband," and started hugging on him and like, "I know so much about you," like in front of everyone.
Other co-workers.
And he was just like, "Haha, you're my work sister, pal."
Dude.
And she like took big offense to it and got really uncomfortable, or made him feel really uncomfortable for making her feel bad about just being his work sister. But he's married, and he keeps stating that he's like, "I'm married, I'm committed to my wife." And we're just kind of chatting about like kind of those personal relationships. Um, like I said, just like even based off this story, based off my own experience, like I'm really just like a stickler for just keep your work relationships as work relationships. Like I don't drink anymore, so it's not really much of an issue. But like I stopped like hanging out with coworkers after work and grabbing drinks and stuff because like in my personal experience, you know, it could be totally skewed, but it's my experience. Like I used to be like a traveling contractor, and this is not like anything romantic, but it's like more personal. So like I used to be a traveling contractor, sort of like these people. They would travel together, and you would be just around the same people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of develop a relationship, a bit of a friendship,
Yeah.
and sometimes you'll drink and you open up with each other, but then like you don't know the intentions behind the other people. They might try to use it against you. They might try to advance their own like position with the job and paint you as unreliable because they know certain things about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I haven't been involved in like a romantic work thing, but like I had a boss who led a group of techs. He was like a lead tech who led a group of techs, and then a woman tech came along, and they started like getting together, even though he was married and he had kids, and they traveled with him. So I don't even know how he pulled it off. But like she ended up getting like the better jobs, and they ended up kind of like, I guess like excommunicating the others because they were kind of together all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually he ended up losing his job over it. But then she stayed on and advanced in her position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not saying anyone had, well, he kind of had bad intentions because he was cheating on his wife. And he had a full blown family that traveled with him. And that turned out to be a mess.
That's awful.
But even if you intend for these things to turn out well, like you don't establish relationships with the hopes that they go to shit, right?
Yeah.
But like you have your friends that you've known for a long time, or you might even make new friends that you're like super familiar and super close with because you have like similar interests and you've gone through similar things. Like for me, there's just something about that coworker relationship where like it's okay to open up with your coworkers about your life. Like you don't want to be like some ass that's like, oh no, it's not. I'm just whatever. I'm just here to work. Like I've tried that approach and no one seems to like that. But like no one needs to know the super personal details about your life, especially if you don't know them well and you don't know what they intend to do with that information. Um, I know you kind of made the joke like, oh, if you're an actor and you're in a sitcom and you're acting with somebody and they're like your husband or wife in the thing, but like even then, that's like a work environment and that's a line that can be crossed, and like coming back from crossing that line can be difficult if not impossible.
Well, I must say the OP, he's I respect him. He's really respect his wife, her opinion, his marriage, and he said like, that's the line, not crossing. I'm a married man. I love my wife. I don't need any other wife, not work wife, and it doesn't count as like, oh, I have a wife, not non-work hours, and a wife work hours. No, girl. I have a wife and I have a work, and it's really, I think a lot of men willing to take this advantage of the situation. It's like, oh, there's a woman who'll find me as a like a husband. I, cool. You know what I mean? Not everyone, but there's definitely men like you said, who just take it as like, okay, I'm gonna have other relationship outside of my relationship.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of
Gross.
men like this as well. So, ready to continue with the update?
Yep. 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 Yep.
I wrote a while ago regarding my coworker friend Mary being upset with me for calling her my work sister when she called me her work husband in front of everyone. I'm sorry to leave everyone hanging, but the next few weeks were busy and the issue was eventually resolved. Thanks to everyone for the comments. They really helped me when I talked to my manager about the situation. However, the last week has been crazy, so I want to get some opinions on what I should do next. Excuse me. After my last post, my wife and I were no longer comfortable with Mary's behavior. Although a part of me thought I was overreacting and that it was just part of Mary's personality, I felt the need to protect myself. I requested a meeting with my manager and HR to document my side of the story. I wrote down everything and told them about the incident at the party, as well as Mary coming into my office and the comments she made. Like, I know you better than your wife.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you longer than your wife. I made it clear that while I did not want them to take actions against her, I wanted to emphasize that her behavior made me uncomfortable, especially her comments about knowing me better than my wife and remarks about my shorts. My manager had already heard about the incident at the happy hour, as everyone in the office was talking about it. He told me he would try to shake up the travel schedule to minimize our travel together. The issue was that only 4 people in our company generally work on off-site audits, and the other 2 coworkers did not want to split up because they claimed that they worked well together. As a result, I continued traveling with Mary for the next couple of weeks, but it was awkward and I kept my distance. My manager then called Mary and me to his office and informed us that he was planning to train a new auditor, Carolina, and set up a schedule where she would travel with me for 1 week and then with Mary the following week. We were asked to train her. I liked this arrangement because it meant I no longer had to travel with Mary. Carolina turned out to be a great travel buddy, and I made sure not to get too comfortable with her. I always dressed professionally when we were for breakfast, avoided late night drinks, and maintained healthy boundaries. Things were great until last week. Last Tuesday, I could feel everyone staring at me when I entered the office, and I was immediately called into a meeting with my manager and HR. HR asked if I had anything to report regarding Carolina and asked if she made any advances toward me during our work trips. I told them no, Carolina had been very professional the entire time. I asked why I was being interrogated, and they told me they couldn't disclose any further details, but that Carolina was being investigated by HR for inappropriate conduct. I left the meeting, and Mary came to my office asking what happened. She mentioned that she also told Carolina would no longer be traveling with us and that we were asked to travel together again. I told her I had no idea what was going on. I messaged Carolina to see if she was okay and if she needed to talk. She asked if she could come to my office and I agreed. Carolina explained that someone anonymously sent messages to her boyfriend posing as someone from the office over the weekend. The message included screenshots of Carolina sending some inappropriate pictures she had taken in her hotel rooms during our travels and flirtatious messages. The person claimed to be her boyfriend, that Carolina was trying to cheat with him at work and he was trying to warn them. Her boyfriend went crazy after seeing the pictures, ghosted her, and sent the messages to HR as revenge. Carolina was in tears, telling me she had only taken those pictures for her boyfriend and had no idea how they got leaked or how those messages even existed. Her boyfriend was furious because he also received the exact pictures from her and knew they weren't fake. I consoled Carolina, but she's in deep trouble as our workplaces take such things very seriously because we work on government contracts, and I'm sure everyone suspects I am the anonymous messenger. I was told that the matter would be investigated and Mary and I would be working together on the project again. My manager said there was nothing he could do and also mentioned that they might go through my emails and messages on my company phone as part of the investigation into Carolina. Mary seems very happy about the whole situation and keeps talking about how excited she is to revisit the restaurants and bars we used to frequent during off-site trips. She also keeps referring to Carolina as that pervert. The whole thing is just crazy. My wife, of course, believes that I would never do anything inappropriate with her and that I wasn't the anonymous messenger. However, her conspiracy theory is that Mary, who was also traveling with Carolina, may have unlocked her phone and accessed the photos. It feels far-fetched, but the fact is that I'm not thrilled about traveling with Mary again. I don't think I have any other recourse to get off this project except leaving the job, which is impossible at this time. I know many of you work in HR, and I would appreciate any advice on what I can do next.
That's what I'd say. She is not okay. She is crazy. 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 She's crazy. She is crazy.
Okay, like I'm just scouring the comments trying to see if there's any updates, because I'd be pretty pissed if there isn't any.
That's insane.
Let's see. I'm gonna jump on their profile. Okay. There is another one. Do you just want to get right into it?
Yeah. Let's go
I mean,
be done with that.
any comments so far?
That's, like I said, this lady's crazy that I said in the beginning. She is huge red flag. She's probably in love with him and he decided to take her revenge and she's not stop. She gonna throwing throwing people under the bus. She deserved to be fired. Okay. Okay, it's long. It's long again. I see it. It's huge.
All right, let's put my reading skills to the test. I wrote a post 6 months ago regarding calling my coworker Mary work sister and upsetting her in the process. Things got really weird afterwards, and I was paired with another coworker. I'm just gonna skim through it.
Okay.
Tipped her off that
Straight to the point.
after that, Mary and I were asked again to travel together despite my reservations, mostly because others did not want to travel with me. I'm sorry I did not write an update because nothing noteworthy happened until last Friday, and my wife, Brooke, and I have been arguing ever since about what to do next. I've been applying for similar positions in the last few months, but it's hard to find a similar job in this market. Brooke, his wife, has expressed her reservations on me traveling with Mary, but also understands that I would just stop traveling with her if I could. We have bills and mortgages, and I cannot just leave my job. Just like most commenters on the previous post, she believes that Mary framed Carolina. I've been extremely professional with Mary during our travels. Things are not as before where I would consider her my close friend. I am always guarded around her and tried to spend most of my time in my room after work. Carolina stuck around for another month after I wrote the post when, when HR was investigating her. I tried to support her and also told my manager that she's been very professional. However, rumors started spreading around that I'm going above and beyond to save her job, and she spent a lot of time in my office talking to me alone. We mutually decided that the optics were not good and started distancing ourselves. She resigned a month after the incident because she told me she cannot take it anymore. From what I know, she's still looking for a job. Mary, on the other hand, seems to be very happy on our work trips. Although I act extremely professional around her, a part of me knows that she might be the person that framed Carolina. I have no proof, just intuition. I also fear that Mary's the one spreading rumors about Carolina and me in the office. She always plans for dinners after work and sometimes asks me to get a drink at the hotel bars before. I generally avoid drinking now on these trips. There were a few times where she was insisting that I get a beer, but I told her that I'm already on thin ice at work, and I promised Brooke that I would not drink on these trips. This has not stopped her from getting hammered and me having to drop her to her room at the end of the day a few times. Like take her to her room because she's so drunk. Brooke has been very supportive the whole time and has never once suspected me or blamed me for anything. She has asked me not to drink on these trips and also to make sure I call her every night when I reach my room and when I go to sleep. I also voluntarily installed a location tracking app on my phone so that she has peace of mind to know where I am during these trips. On the incident from last Friday, we had a Christmas party last Friday at our office. Brooke joined me and the party was great. Mary asked me for a dance, but I declined, and Mary did not look thrilled about it. Brooke was lovely and we danced together for most of the night. There was one point where I was talking to my manager and a few other colleagues, and Brooke was talking to my manager's wife. Mary interrupted them and started bragging about how she has to take care of me during work trips since I'm so clumsy. Brooke also joined in on how I am clumsy and forgetful, on how clumsy and forgetful I am at home. Mary then told Brooke that I make her feel safe on the trips and told her about the incident where she got drunk and how I took care of her by dropping her off to her room and sitting by her bedside until she fell asleep. Mary insisted that I'm a gentleman and nothing happened and how I showed care for her. Brooke knew about the incidents when I dropped her off to her room. However, at no time did I enter Mary's room. Brooke did not say anything at the time, but when we got home, this turned into a huge argument. I told Brooke that I did not enter her room and just led her to her room and immediately called her and told her about the incident. I even showed her the text conversation where I messaged Brooke after leaving the restaurant and when I got to the room along with the timestamps. After Brooke calmed down, she told me she believes me, but it's crazy how fluently Mary lied to her in front of my manager's wife. She told me that Mary's just trying to plant a seed of doubt in her head. Oh, thanks, man. Got a chat.
Mm-hmm.
He loves us. It's Mo. After Brooke down, she told me that Mary ruined Carolina's. Sorry, I got to read back. She told me that Mary's just trying to plant a seed of doubt in her head, and she cannot pretend anymore that she's okay with Mary. She told me that Mary ruined Carolina's career, and if she does not get in her way, she might do the same to me. Brooke has asked me if I can draw a red line on traveling with Mary, and if my manager does not accept, I should just resign. I feel Brooke is right, but nothing's more important to me than her. However, it feels so shitty to be in this situation where all my hard work to reach this point in my career will be ruined. I do not know what to do next. I'm really hoping to get advice and ideas on what I can do here. I just feel so trapped and not sure what I can do at this point.
Why HR don't do anything with that? Like, that's insane.
She's crazy. She needs to be hospitalized somewhere. Ish.
Well, I'm going to read a chat from Alex Fran. It looks like you're our #1 fan because you're the only one here and we love you. This is great. Are you guys just reading Am I the Assholes? I don't have to mindlessly scroll. I can mindlessly sit here and support my friends at the same time. This is a huge win. Well, yes, we are. And thank you. We appreciate you, man. We hope you're doing well. And call us sometime.
Yeah.
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 I feel lost right now because I don't see any updates.
It's killing me.
Well,
Who's that?
this big comment here.
Yeah.
So he quoted, Mary interrupted them and started bragging how he quoted, the comments are quoted like when Mary was all like, oh, he took me to my room when I was drunk.
Yeah.
Dude, you're doing this to yourself. Quit babying her on these work trips. If she gets drunk, leave her alone and let her find her own way to her room. Because of your chivalry, you're not letting her fail and potentially get fired. Leave her to her own devices, and whenever you're all together, record her and document.
Yeah.
Leave a paper trail if you can. Put your foot down with your manager regarding Mary, or say goodbye to your life when she claims you sexually harassed or SA'd her.
Yeah, that's really possible. If she can go and accuse person of sending inappropriate stuff, what she can do.
Stop interacting with Mary unless it's work related. Stop going to dinner with her. Stop doing anything or talking to her on trips outside of work hours. At this point, you're doing this to yourself. Do you like the attention you get from Mary? Because you're doing a pretty good job pretending that Mary didn't sabotage Carolina and you, and that she isn't trying to break up your marriage and make everyone think that you're having an affair. Just stop already. You know, some of these people have a point. Because at a certain point, like, she already did this weird shit with you in front of everybody. Like, she acted weird around Carolina and possibly got her fired. And now she's like talking shit to your wife. Like, dude, just leave her alone. Like, yeah, like, is it the nice thing if like someone's messed up and you take her to her room and drop them off and make sure they're safe? Sure, but like now your wife is even starting to doubt you. And like, I understand not quitting a job because like because job market's so hard these days.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a lot. This is a lot. Like, I would have just cut it out such a long time ago.
That's insane.
And like I said, and this is just me. Like, I don't drink anymore, and I keep stressing that. And this is kind of like part of the reason, especially with like coworkers, why I stopped doing it with coworkers, because they feel this kind of like weird. They can feel this weird familiarity with you. They'll take certain things you say out of context and share it with other people.
Yeah.
Like, and especially like when drinking's involved, like sometimes you feel like, oh, like we're both drunk around each other. We can trust each other with like personal things. And like, unless you really know the person, you really shouldn't. And it can lead to situations like this. Like, I like to think that not every situation's like this, and I hope that not every situation's like this.
There's possibility always there.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna look one more time and see if there's any other updates or like, but the general consensus is like, I think we're already past like, am I the asshole? Like initially, no, I don't think you are. But like the further along we got with the story, it's just like you're not really creating those boundaries.
Yeah, it feels like you just deal with them.
And then also too, like, it feels like he was trying to overcorrect with the other girl. When the other girl was like being accused of like sending those pictures, like he has no definitive proof. Like, not to like pass blame on anybody, especially if she was like a victim of something. But like, you don't know what she does on her personal time. So now you're going above and beyond for like another woman in the office. So you're already accused of having a work wife. And now you're going above and beyond for this other woman who's accused of like being with you. Like, just back off. Mind your business. You know what I mean? Just like, it seems like in this workplace, you really just need to distance yourself socially from everyone. Like, you're obviously an expert in your field.
Why it must be woman and man send it to the, like.
What do you mean?
So they hired another woman Why just not find another person? Why not just not find a man? Hey!
Excuse us 1 second. To answer your question, like why do they hire another woman? I don't think that necessarily matters if someone's good at their job. I think regardless of whoever you hire in that position, you shouldn't be having those kind of relationships.
Yeah.
They could have hired a dog. Don't pet the dog too much. Yeah, Garrick, that was Garrick. We had to put it. He just saw one of the cats, went a little wild, but
And it's black cat, and dogs don't see in the dark.
but
And he just like, it's probably Mary
it's probably Mary.
trying to accuse someone.
But yeah, no, messed up situation. I think ultimately what you can learn from that is, I don't want to say getting familiar with your coworkers is bad, and you can definitely form good relationships and good friendships with them. You can.
But friendships, not anything closer.
Take it slow. You want to do the last one?
Yeah, what's
Because
the
I
last
can't
one?
find any updates.
Okay.
Let's just assume that he got fired and divorced. All right. Gonna go ahead and open the last one. Hopefully this is a good one. Am I the asshole for reporting my coworker to HR for using the office fridge to store her homemade lunches, which led to her trying to get me fired?
What? That's interesting.
You know what? Like, I have a work fridge now, so let's see if I can relate.
Okay.
All right, so they preface this with, from previous posts, some of you already know that my workplace has a few characters, as do all workplaces.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I noticed that it was getting harder and harder to find space for my lunch. The fridge was always crammed full, and I soon realized that one of my coworkers, Anna, was using it to store a bunch of homemade lunches she sells to other employees.
It's legal?
I don't know if it's legal.
It's crazy.
And to answer the chat, yeah, my job has a work fridge. They have two. But
One for homemade lunches and one for other.
no. But let's continue the story.
Okay.
Anna is a great cook, and her lunches are popular. She brings in about 15 pre-made meals every day, storing them in the fridge until people pick them up throughout the day. At first, I didn't think much of it, but it started to become a real problem when there was barely any room left for anyone else's food. I decided to talk to her, suggesting that she might consider using a cooler or finding another way to store her meals since the fridge was meant for everyone. She didn't take it well. She got defensive, saying that her food was in high demand and that she had every right to use the fridge. She even hinted that if I wanted more space, I should start buying her lunches instead of bringing my own. I'm a hustler, baby. I'm a terrible singer. Things escalated when I couldn't fit my lunch in the fridge for several days in a row. I finally decided to report the situation to HR. They spoke to Anna, and she was told to limit how much space she uses in the fridge. That's when things took a turn.
Pum pum.
Anna was furious with me and made it her mission to make my life at work miserable. She started spreading rumors about me, telling people that I was jealous of her success and trying to sabotage her business. Then she took it a step further. Anna went to HR and claimed that I was harassing her and creating a hostile work environment. She even got a couple of her friends in the office to back her story, lying about things I supposedly said and did. HR called me in for a meeting to address the complaints, and I was blindsided. I had no idea she was plotting to get me fired. Luckily, I had documented my interactions with Anna and was able to prove that her claims were false. HR ended up dismissing the complaints against me, but the damage was done. The whole situation left me feeling isolated at work, and now a lot of my coworkers see me as the bad guy, thanks to Anna's lies. So am I the asshole for reporting her in the first place? Or did I just make things worse for myself by not handling it differently? So the question is, am I an asshole for reporting her, or did I make things worse for myself?
Not the asshole.
I don't think you're the asshole, but you definitely made things worse for yourself. Like, it's kind of one of those tricky things. Because, like, on principle, I agree with him. And Alex, yes, too. And yeah, he could have handled it better, and I'll kind of expound on that if you let me. But I agree with what you're saying. So, reporting it is kind of like, it seems to be a step too far. And obviously, Anna has friends, and her lunches are popular, and everyone likes them. And she's kind of seen as like this enterprising individual making these delicious lunches, probably pursuing her passion. And you just seem like the curmudgeon that just wants to spoil the fun.
No.
Like, it stinks. This is just like how I'm saying how people would view him.
Mm-hmm.
Like running to HR and being like, oh, she's taking up too much room in the fridge. And now she gets wind of it and she's told about it. And like, she's wrong for taking it that much further and saying like, oh, he's harassing me. He's doing this. He's doing that. And like, I mean, I don't know what he means by documented his interactions. Maybe he like emailed everything to her, like on the work server, so it's documented. But you're not the asshole, but you made things worse for yourself. Like I said, everyone likes her and her lunches. They think she's great. Just based off just briefly reading this, like just based off of like quick first impression, like everyone loves her stuff.
Okay.
You're not wrong, but you're kind of going against like a tribe mentality.
You want my opinion?
Yes.
He's definitely not the asshole. Oh, sorry. He's definitely not the asshole. But I'm more questioning selling stuff on a workplace. Take some people's spots, if I can say, in a fridge and tell them that you better buy my food if you want to space it. It's like, it's kind of a move, if I can say. He's a bit like, if he's do something bad, go into HR. No, he's workplace uncomfortable because he have no space where to put his food. Why he must to suffer or buy something if he bring his own food? It's a normal thing. Why you go to the HR? How HR handle it? Why HR say? It's their business. Harassing person and spread rumors just because you can sell your food there. Open the restaurant. Like open the, I don't know, do something. Make like sell your food through the internet. Go to the different parties just like a food vendor. Why you need to bring it to the work to sell it at workspace? I understand you have a friends. Your friends could buy your food not in a food not in a workplace. Or if you know how many person gonna buy you food, make the order. Let them make the order. Like, okay, today my order is like 15, and if you don't have a space, you definitely know it's already someone's food. It's not she's expect to sell it. It's someone's food, so come earlier. Put this earlier. Well, if she's gonna take it out, then you can go to the HR and say like, hey, she's threw my food off the fridge. So I believe that it's not okay to make coworkers' life uncomfortable just because you're trying to build the business. And yeah, she's totally wrong, and he is absolutely right to go to the HR and talk about that.
So I'm just reading the chat.
Okay.
He says she's fired up about this one. Did you write this one, Marie?
What?
He's saying you're very passionate about this one. Did you write it?
I just don't like it. I just really don't like. I'll be honest. There's lots of problems in a workspace fridges that people steal, that people left some stuff and they became bad. It's like everyone bring your own container, eat your food, wash your container, and take it home. I worked in offices.
Yeah, I currently work in the same situation. Not everyone washes their stuff, or they'll leave food in the sink after they wash it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
even put up signs like with pictures on how to clean the sink after you wash your food. Office culture is definitely interesting.
It's fun.
Jay's been stealing your lunch, huh? No, Marie makes me
No,
lunch.
he bring his own container. I can sell it, but he's bring own container. We have 7 containers.
But
He take my space in,
I think-
in the fridge.
I think we are forgetting a very important question though.
The dog barking.
Yes, Garrick, I agree. Is HR buying any of these lunches?
Yeah.
Because now he might be stepping all over HR's lunches. Like I said, it really depends on the culture of that office and like how people feel about Anna and her food,
Yeah.
right?
But still, she's really wrong to take the spot just to make a business. You go to work not to make a business. You go to work to do work.
Right, but it also depends on the culture of the office and how
And
cool everyone is with Anna.
If all the workers like the idea of her bringing the lunches, they can buy the separate small fridge for specifically her needs.
One of the comments, and like I like that we keep talking about a second fridge. If these lunches are being consumed by your colleagues the same day, then the real issue is that your workplace needs a second fridge. Everyone's lunch should fit. So overspend on that budget, get a new fridge. But I mean, that kind of,
He's barking.
but then like I said, like we're just talking about the issue of her selling food and stuff, and like it really depends on the workplace. Like sometimes people let, people bring food and stuff to sell at work or like other stuff. Like my kid's fundraiser, buy a candy bar. It really depends on the culture of the office and what like everyone's cool with.
Mm-hmm.
But then the real messed up part of this is like the second half where she straight up lied. Excuse me one moment. Brief second, please. All right, we're back. The second part of that story was like Anna supposedly made up this story where she had like friends back her up. I guess like what I would like to know is like what exactly was she saying? But then he also said that he got cleared by HR because he documented. So like it wasn't bad enough for Anna to get fired.
Because they like her lunches.
I don't know. It's this weird situation. Like I think the best thing to do in this case is to. It sucks. Like you kind of dug yourself in a hole, unfortunately. Like whether you're right or wrong, which I think he's right to complain for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like it stinks that like, someone's using like a common space for solely their stuff. Like whether or not they're feeding people. Like some of the comments were like, oh, if she's bringing enough lunches, to sell to the people that she's supposed to sell to, like 15 people buy her lunches every day, so she brings 15 lunches.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, she's not taking extra space in the fridge.
Yeah.
I doubt is that clean cut. I'm sure she's bringing in extra. Please, that's a computer cable. We
No,
could
it's
lose
not
the
a
string.
computer
Yes,
cable.
it is.
No, it's not.
Okay. But I'm sure she's not bringing in like
She's bringing some extra.
an hour 23 and 54. Jay silences Garrick. No, I just grabbed him from the crate to bring him over here. I would show you the camera, but he's like laying next to us. Yeah, so I'm sure she's not bringing just enough. She's taking up space in the fridge. It stinks. But
what he can do, he can come earlier and put in the fridge.
and that's exactly what I do at work. My shift starts at 7:30. I come in at 7:15 when there's nothing in the fridge because everyone comes in around 7:20, 7:30, and I find a corner and I put my stuff in and I'm good.
Or he can bring his food for a whole week and stuff the fridge with this food. Then he can take each day container out.
Yeah, if I was one of Anna's friends, I would passively aggressively throw it out.
Then you can go to the HR and say, like, they throw out my food.
Listen, I think he dug himself in a hole.
No, I think it's just a really bad environment. They just really.
Yeah, man, just go to work early, find a corner in the fridge, wait till this whole thing blows over, don't mention it again.
Find another job
Not over a fridge.
over a fridge. You need a normal fridge, like a huge fridge just for you.
I mean, so I'm reading your chats now. I mean, are we sure she doesn't keep food in there for days to stock up for when people buy? I agree. I think she's bringing more than necessary.
Extra, yeah.
There might be 5 people that buy it, and she's probably bringing 10 in case she could sell 5. I mean, she's a businesswoman. Is she like food prepping for the week? I'm just assuming that she's like cooking something different every night to come and bring it and sell it to work. But that's just my assumption. If she's selling it, she's probably bringing different things and maybe bringing leftovers from the previous day. Like, I got 6 hot dogs today. Now the next day I have 3 hot dogs and 6 hamburgers, and so on and so forth. I don't know if they're hot dogs and hamburgers. They don't hold well till the next day. But yeah, I think like ultimately like this kind of work drama is like really easy to avoid if this particular thing, it just seems like you need to do whatever you can to make yourself comfortable. Like I said, like I go to work early. Not that it was ever an issue. I just noticed like when I started this new job, the fridge would get full fast. And I go into work early anyway. So it's just advantageous for me to go in early and put my food in the fridge and keep it there. I mean, you could bring your own cooler with some ice. Like, you got to figure out something at this point because it just seems like you're going against the group here.
Not buy her food.
If she has a Yelp page or a Google review page, leave a bad review.
Yeah.
Say you got food poisoning.
Yeah.
Say you found a rat in the food.
You have a spicy diarrhea.
Spicy or sour.
Not sweet. Not sweet.
No, but in all honesty, like I don't see a clear-cut way out of this other than just going to work early, put your food in there, don't talk to anyone, don't go on work trips with people so they can call themselves your work wife.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Yeah, all this work-related thing, there's so much trouble dealing with a lot of people at the same time. It feels like a big school, like big high school. There is a bully, there is a
Go ahead.
people who's selling stuff, people who claiming know you better than your parents. You know what I mean? It's just insane. And I again understand that there is no such a thing as age because sometimes adult people do really, really mature things. But it's just consequences from it, like much more harsh. What's that?
Oh no, just continue.
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, so he was asking, are you a full-time actor now? And then I asked him, who are you asking? And he said, just being stupid, not a real question. I think we're all actors. I think we're all actors within our family groups, within our work environments, in our communities. I think we all hide our true intentions. And I think my true intentions are to find space in the fridge and not have anyone suspect me of it. But to answer your question, man, honestly, sorry, I'm just reading the chat. I love that you're the creator and number two next under me, number one good soup fan forever. But to answer your question about acting, I guess we could talk. I got released from that Law and Order thing. I was hoping to get on Law and Order this Wednesday. Funny enough,
Playing Mexican?
as a migrant that was arrested by federal agents.
Playing Mexican.
But yeah, that didn't work out. They released me.
It's an SVU?
Yes.
Nice.
So that didn't work out.
But
We're hopefully going to find out about something tomorrow. Maria and I will hopefully get to work on something.
Yeah.
We also helped with a short film recently, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah. We didn't act in that one, but I held a boom mic. And Marie,
I do the camera work.
yeah. Trying to find a quick post that we could just close out with. Okay. I'm going to read this one. I have no knowledge of this one, but it is kind of work related.
Okay.
And then we'll close out.
Okay.
Whack, you'll get it next time you play a perfect migrant. Puerto Rico. Oh, hey CJ. As CJ said, I'm Puerto Rican, so I wouldn't be a migrant, but thanks, man. But I'm going to read the last one. Am I the asshole for telling a guy to shut up during a job interview?
Interesting. It depends who.
I was interviewing this guy for a very good software engineering position. He passed the first round, and both I and everyone involved in the second round really liked his resume and experience. On paper, he had everything we were looking for, and honestly, this looked like a life-changing opportunity for him. Okay. Then he shows up, very serious and not smiling at all. I'm used to that in tech interviews, and I understand it can be an intimidating environment. We did a round of introductions, and then he opened up the interview by saying, "Let me tell you a little bit about myself." We said, "Okay, go for it." He started talking about his personal and professional background. After about 3 minutes, I jumped in to ask a follow-up question based on something he mentioned. He replied, "I will answer, just give me a moment," and continued talking. A coworker jumped in with another question, and he said the same thing to her. At this point, we were just kind of looking at each other, but decided to let him continue and give him the benefit of the doubt. But after more than 5 minutes, I jumped in again with another question. I had to talk over him to do it. He finally paused and answered, but in such a long-winded way that he ended up veering into another topic. My coworker asked another question, and the same thing happened. At this point, I was ready to end the interview. I tried to politely wrap it up several times, but he was unable to read the room and just kept talking. I finally raised my voice slightly and said something like, "Thank you very much for sharing your background. In the interest of time, I'd like to ask if you have any questions for us. This is standard protocol and helps us prepare answers for future interviews." He asked a question about the team. As I was answering, he raised his finger and interrupted to talk more about his background. I let it go. And then he asked another question, which my coworker started to answer, but again, he spoke over her to talk about himself. I tried once more to interrupt politely, but he just kept talking. At that point, I was done. I said, "John, you really have to shut up and listen." He was surprised, as was my coworker, but he finally stopped talking. I continued, "You walked into this room with a 99% chance of getting this job. Now that chance is 0. The only reason is because in less than 15 minutes, you've demonstrated that you don't have the capacity to listen at all. So I'm telling you now, you're not getting the job. But if you take anything away from this interview, let it be this. No matter how good you are, technically, if you can't listen, you'll never excel in this career." He apologized and said, "Can we start again?" I replied, "You had your chance. Best of luck to you in future interviews. Make sure you listen." Looking back, I know I could have handled that differently, and I still feel bad for the guy. Sounds like sounds like that show Billions, like where they just like I've never watched a show. I just watch YouTube shorts, but like they just like talk like assholes to each other. Like you're good technically, but you need to learn how to listen. So it kind of sounds like a fake story, but like I mean I guess. Hey CJ, you're in the chat. You've interviewed professionally. I'd like to hear your take on this. But you said, let's see. The audience wants to hear the nation's anthem, Jay. Thanks, CJ. No. I agree. Sing it. No. Jay needs to get Discord. If he said yes, I would chime in with all of it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to sing, man. But CJ, if you're still in the chat, and if not, that's fine. But like, not to get too much into what you do, but like, this guy was interviewing somebody. He kept cutting him off and not really listening. Have you ever told anyone like, "Hey, shut up," in a nice way, professional way, whatever way? But Marie, until we get an answer, if we get an answer, what do you think?
Give me one moment.
That just fixes some technical difficulties. What do you think of this story, Marie?
At first, I believe it's really uncomfortable to work with someone who's not willing to listen. Especially, at least pretend like you want to interview. You want to get that job or no? To say shut up to someone, I believe it takes some time because usually HR pretty, how it's supposed, give me the word. They can wait. They really like quiet. I don't know. They do yoga or something, breathing exercises, looking
Well,
at
this is not necessarily HR interviewing. It's
no, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like if you dealing with the new people, you need to have some kind of understand, some kind of, like make people feel comfortable around you, to talk to them, to understand them.
Oh, you mean when you're going in for an interview?
Yeah.
Like make them feel comfortable around you and show them that you listen and that you can
Yeah.
do the job.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get the job, you could be an asshole and take up all the space in the
I'm
fridge.
talking, yes. I'm talking also about the people who take the interview, like who's interviewed.
The interviewer.
So you need to be like this person, like who interviewee. They're nervous. They're trying to get the job, right? What's that?
Go ahead.
They're trying to get the job. So you must make them feel comfortable to talk to you. And when someone I'm going to talk about myself. In second grade, I play with the Play-Doh, and some guy put the finger in my ear. Like, we don't need to know that. We here to talk about your work experience, your knowledge, your education if it's necessary, and everything, but not your personal life and personal experience.
But how do you feel that this person handled it? And CJ said he's had to do that in his past. You don't have to get into detail, but it's nice to know that it happens.
I believe it happens, especially.
But how do you feel about it?
There are people, like if someone you want to ask something and they disrespect your question, especially if they come to you to be interviewed. So for example, you interview the person and you usually listen to people, right? And now imagine you ask the question and someone say like, no, wait, I'm gonna talk about something. And they talking about whatever they find interesting. But you have a questions and it's not an interview, it's just like dialogue, you know what I mean? Between me and you, that's kind of an interview that we do on a good soup after dark. And person don't let you ask the question and go totally different direction that you need to have in an interview, right? You're probably gonna say something along those lines, like, hey, please answer the question. And if you're not gonna answer the question, take your bag, there's the door. That's the thing. It's not correct to say someone to shut up, but sometimes that's the thing that could happen. I also have a really interesting thing that principal of my school, she told me the story about a boy who was really like nervous
and he just like yelling and crying and like. And one moment, the principal just take the cup and break it to the wall, and boy just like. So he need this something goes different direction to just take the attention. And she said like, I don't know what I did it because like I tried to talk to him, it doesn't work, and I'm just break the cup on the wall. And he's like, what's happened? He started yelling, stop crying, stop yelling, and he started listening to her. Maybe that was the thing. Maybe he can say something else. He can just say shark.
Yeah,
You
I
know
don't
what I
think
mean?
that's his responsibility in a professional interview.
I understand, but still, they can sit there for hours and listen to his life. Who cares?
So CJ wrote back in the chat, from a professional perspective, an interview is actually very personal. On its face, you think it's about the interviewee sharing why they're good to the interviewer. But the truth is, it's how does the interviewee do a good job to make the interviewer like them? So he's saying that, like, yeah, while it is professional, and this is just me interpreting what you're saying so far, while it is professional, like, kind of like what you said, like, make them feel comfortable to be around you.
Yeah.
Like what they were saying, like, hey, why don't you just, like, listen? Like, you asked us a question, why don't you let us
Yeah.
talk?
Yeah.
We let you talk.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be as drastic as throwing a mug against the wall to get somebody's
I
attention.
agree.
But like at a certain point, you kind of have to shut up and listen. And like while we haven't done any like professional interviews outside of getting our own jobs, like CJ's done, I mean, we interview people all the time through our podcast.
Yes.
And like as a content creator, like I look at other people's like platforms.
Yeah.
And I kind of cheat a little bit. I see how they do. I mean, we were reading Reddit stories. Like, it's not super original, but
I just like it. It's
yeah,
just
no,
fun.
absolutely. And that's not a dig at it. Like what I'm saying is that I look to other stuff to get inspiration and see how it's done
Yeah.
and how I could apply it to myself.
Yeah.
And like one of the things that annoys me the most when I see other platforms is like the interviewer will ask a question. The interviewer will talk a little bit, start sharing, and then the interviewer just kind of chimes in with their own thing and then changes the subject. Then asks another question. And then the interviewee starts talking. And then the interviewer starts going into like a therapy session. So it's just like, I think it's kind of like the same thing where like you're trying to open yourself up or your platform up so the person could feel that personal connection with you. And like the biggest thing is like, what are the dynamics in the room? Who's the listener and who's talking? I don't know if that breaks it down or if you understand that, CJ.
What you say, I think, like, not exactly. I don't like when you talking about something and interviewer ask you the question absolutely not related with whatever you're talking about. But if it's like question like you talking about something, right? And a question related to this, to just open up, because interviewer have their job to ask the question specifically to understand, I don't know, your mental level,
Sure.
like your level of your stress, or your responsible. You know what I mean? How responsible you are. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess like what
this
yeah.
things. And during your speech and talking about even yourself and your experience, they ask like some kind of questions to more understand that. It's kind of art.
Right, but what we're talking about specifically in this situation is interrupting. So like
It's okay interrupting. It's like
you should let somebody like in this specific
you
situation.
can sit for hours listening to someone.
In this
talking.
specific situation, like the interviewer asked the interviewee, "Do you have questions for us?"
Yes.
He asked the question. They started answering because it was that time in the interview. Like, okay, you who wants a job, ask us questions about the job that you want.
Yes.
Ask a question, they start answering. Then he interrupts him and starts talking about himself. That's what I'm talking about. Like asking different questions when someone's done with their point, or like trying to guide a conversation is a lot different than interrupting and talking about whatever you want to talk about. So like as an interviewee, like just kind of constantly interrupting with something that's off topic, that's one thing. or like an interviewer like stopping somebody in the middle of their tracks to change the subject and talk about what they want to talk about. It's a balance. It's an art for sure, but like the constant interruptions is like the biggest problem with this particular story.
If you don't understand who interview whom, it's gonna be happen. Because if you totally trust this person interview me, I answer the questions they ask. And if they say, okay, stop, next question, you need to stop and answer next question. Because they interview you, not you come there talking about yourself. They give you a questions. And if they tell you, like, give you a space, it's like, tell us about yourself. You do the short information, where I'm from,
Sure.
what I'm doing. There's like, can you tell more about yourself? Then you add something. That's how I view it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think if you being interviewed, you must answer the questions.
What does that say?
Oh,
What does it say?
we love Marie. Jay, don't interrupt Marie.
No one was interrupted. But
Thank you.
But it just takes a good interviewer to figure out the flow of the conversation and stuff. But like I said, with this particular situation, this guy was just not really answering the questions and more so kind of going off on what he wanted to talk about. That's what I interpret from this.
And how I understand, they do, what is this, like a programming thing? It's like a developer or something?
Software engineering position.
They probably just spend so much time without people, and there's the people, oh, I'm gonna say all I want to say, and just use the moment.
Yeah.
Just hire. Go to the therapist.
I mean, some people bring up a good point. Like one person's like, I totally overtalk when I'm nervous. Fast monologues with no punctuation. I've had dates ask me if I'm on cocaine. Okay.
That's the problem, man.
One person says, I interviewed someone who wouldn't stop talking. We started with, tell us about yourself and why you're interested in this position. And she talked for literally 10 minutes. One of the other interviewers asked, you've shown you struggle to be concise. That's important in this job because of X, Y, Z. How would you address that? It could be like a nervous tick. Maybe the guy was nervous. Like he did ask, like, hey, can we start over? But like I said, this seems like some kind of like.
But from the beginning, it's give me a vibe. Whatever they explain that is give me a vibe that he was like so into himself. Like I am, and he's talking about these personal things.
Right.
And it wasn't. It was and when they interrupt him with the questions about specific topics, he's open up. He's just like, I will finish and then when I answer. It doesn't look like it's like he was like not like he's insecure or something or like over emotional or nervous.
Yeah.
Maybe because every person nervous differently, but it more looks like I want to talk about myself right now.
Mm-hmm.
So wait. That's weird.
Trying to see if there's any updates. No.
I mean, what update you can have? They just say goodbye to this guy.
Yeah, maybe he got fired for being a jerk in interviews. Hey, shut up.
If honestly, if nobody's told him, I feel it was in the room. It was in the room. Everyone feel it except that guy who was interviewed.
He just kind of voiced it.
Yeah. So.
We have got to have a discussion over the best soup on this.
Mushroom.
I'm more of a tomato soup kind of guy.
Mushroom soup.
No!
Mushroom soup. With a coconut cream. Mushroom, potato, coconut cream, onion, nutritional yeast, water, spices.
I prefer unnutritional yeast. Unhealthy yeast. How are you feeling about this so far, Marie? Just kind of doing these.
I think next one's gonna be relationship. There is a lot of weird things going on.
Well, this one sounds weird.
What?
Am I the asshole for putting onions in my dad's food even though he's allergic?
Yes. You don't need to even open it. Yes.
Yeah.
I put the. I feel.
Am I the asshole for murdering my father?
Yeah. I just like look at him with a puffy face. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's kind of my kink. Gross.
Do you want to read one more?
If you find something interesting.
And CJ, what's your favorite soup? While we look for something else. Like I said, I like tomato soup. When I used to eat dairy products, I used to love grilled cheese with tomato soup. That's my favorite combination.
Tomato soup is boring.
You're boring.
I am.
I am.
What are you trying to find?
Tomato soup.
Oh, it's right there.
It's too far.
There's a mushroom soup and tomato soup. It's behind a Garrick. It's behind a Garrick portrait.
I think this is more interesting.
It's not finished.
Show off your art while I look for another story.
It's not finished portrait of Garrick. It's looked like a wallpaper in my childhood room, but with the dog. Baba. There is a tomato soup and a mushroom soup in the back. I'm from. Sorry. Unexpected. Drop it. Mushroom soup with a bread, with a sourdough bread, and tomato soup with a how it's called sour cream.
Corn chowder. I do love a good chowder. I do miss a clam chowder.
What's the chowder?
It's kind of like a starchy, thick soup, and you could do corn chowder, or you could do like clams, like New England clam chowder.
It's like a potato starchy?
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
I
It's
believe
like
so.
like a
thick soup. Like a
thick
thick,
soup.
like a thick,
Thick soup.
thick.
You know what's interesting?
What's that? I think I got a good one, but
What?
what's interesting?
You find good one?
I think so.
Russian, Ukrainian, Belarus, all the countries have a big trouble to pronounce the, like this combination of the word letters.
TH?
Yes. The. It's really complicated because we don't have this. We have the z, s. So sometimes when you say some words like that, I talk to Garrick and you repeat that, you make this sound like a little child because you don't have this like hard pronunciation, and it sounds like a little child say something, and he's always so sweet. Like you say, "Кушать." Can you say "кушать"?
Kushat.
Кушать. It sounds so sweet. It's a T. Can you say T?
T.
T. Кушать.
Kushait. Kushait.
I love it. It's кушать. It's like a hard but soft. It's complicated. T. So hard. Punch you in the face. Oh, God dang it. You fall asleep, boob? Straight on top of the charger? Hey.
Just bear with us. I'm just trying to find a good one to
You said you already
finish.
find something.
No, I'm going to find a different one.
Dang it. It's just falling off on top of his head. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I'm sorry, my little boy.
Let's see. Corn chowder, cream-based, or as the gang might say, to clarify the gang from Sunny. Okay. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Great show. Love it. Just trying to find one more story to do. It's kind of hard when you're trying to do it on the fly. And if anyone's watching, if you want to recommend some stories for us to read, you can always DM us. If you look on the bottom right corner of your screen, we're goodsoup_prod on all platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can leave something in the comments or DM us. We'll be happy to look into that.
There's a little Garrick.
And there's a little Garrick in the corner of the screen as well. Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for financially screwing over my sister after finding out she's close with my ex and his wife?
Can you read it again, please?
Am I the asshole for financially screwing over my sister after finding out she's close with my ex and his wife? So, like, something with her money. She messed her up, maybe with a job.
Yeah,
or...
I got it. It's just like my ex and his wife. Is like so much people involved. Okay.
Yeah. So this post, the original post was July 4th, 2025. I don't think they had a good holiday. Happy birthday, America. Usually I wouldn't take personal advice from strangers online, but everyone in my life seems to think I'm a petty, scorned, bitter woman, which I probably am, and I need objective advice. My ex-husband, 43 male, and I, 43 female, were college sweethearts. For me, life felt perfect and I trusted him completely. That's why it was so shocking when I found out he was in love with his much younger colleague. She was around 24 at the time. I won't get into any details of how I found out, but the affair was well known at his workplace. Maybe it was that.
Mary?
Maybe it was that guy with his work wife.
Mary.
Oh, Mary, yes, Mary. When I confronted him, all he said was, "I'm sorry, I tried really hard not to fall for her." He didn't seem sorry at all. It felt like he wanted me to leave him. So I did. That was 6 years ago. Our son was 4 then, and it was the worst time of my life. I honestly don't know how I got through it. And because I was desperate, I wanted him to fight for me, to fight for our family, but he didn't. He was quick to sign the divorce papers and didn't even fight for custody. It was as if he had started a new life and completely erased the old one. Sounds like a nice guy.
Uh-huh.
It took years of therapy to feel normal again, to stop checking that women's social media and comparing myself to her. The fact that she's pretty and charming didn't help. His family loved her. And as disgusting as it sounds, one of our common friends even said it out loud. I don't support cheating, but I mean, look at her. When I told her about the cheating. I guess that's what everyone was thinking. This one was just stupid enough to voice it out loud. So I had to cut off that group of friends too. They got married 3 years ago and now have a daughter. A picture-perfect little family. The current arrangement is that our son stays with my ex on weekends and holidays, which works fine for the most part. Last week I found out that my sister, 28 female, has been in touch with my ex all these years. That would have been forgivable since they were close when we were married and she saw him as a brother. But she's actually best friends with his new wife, and she kept it from me for 6 years. I only found out because she left her phone at my house, and I saw several texts from the wife. When I asked her about it, she just brushed it off and said it wasn't a big deal. I told her she can do what she wants, but I'll be cutting her off completely. I was helping her pay college loans and going no contact. She called me unreasonable and said I'm being petty and unable to move on from something that happened a long time ago. She also said the wife is a lovely person and a good friend. She said she will be effed, financially speaking. I told her to go F herself. Somehow my parents agree with her. So, am I the asshole?
I don't
That's a
think.
lot.
I don't think she's an asshole. I don't think she's an asshole what she did. She not ruining anything, but she said she's gonna, and she don't need to do anything for her sister. But
So,
like, okay, I will say like this. I personally don't like idea.
real quick, CJ says 1,000,000% yes. Like, yes, the asshole. Go ahead and continue.
I forget what I'm trying to say.
So you don't think she's the asshole because her sister is still really good friends with the ex-husband, which is understandable because
Yeah,
they were really close. She was probably married for a long time. The
she's
kid
not
was
the asshole to say the what she said. Like she don't gonna pay.
her student loans.
Yeah, like she don't must do. She feel betrayed. Absolutely. And if everyone treat her that way, she just needs to stop. Like, it's really complicated to cut off your family members.
Remember, she also cut off a friend group because they were
Yeah.
still friends with this guy and they liked the new
If
wife.
you feel really hurt, you just need to find other people who support you. And it's really bad that everyone seems to like whatever he did. Even the phrase like, "Oh yeah, cheating is not good, but look at her, she's so
Yeah.
cool." Like, no, you support cheating because he cheat. He's not like, "Oh, I don't love you anymore." And after he find out he liked that lady and started dating with her and then married with her, it's still painful, but it's not cheating. But he's cheat, and he's really easy. Like, "Oh yeah, divorce, done." Like, you my family, right? You my sister.
Mhm.
You know how hard I deal with this situation. You know that I was betrayed, and you don't seem bothered by that.
Right. Same thing with the friends. Like, to a degree, I understand. Like, you feel surrounded by people that don't support you. Maybe this ex-husband, like, I mean, you
Maybe it's more
cheated.
his friends. You know what I mean?
That could be it. Just so far, and we're just going off of the first. This is like best of Reddit update, so there's more. Um, CJ wrote, she she took issue with her ex-husband not fighting for custody. Sounds like she's always looking for a fight. He is wrong for cheating 1,000,000% though. So I mean, you're probably looking at it from a more nuanced point of view. I would say, CJ, like, because there's always three sides of the story. Like, each person's side and the truth, right? And yeah, maybe she is confrontational. Maybe she was I mean, she said she was hoping for more like, oh, he'll fight for custody and stuff. And then now she's confrontational with a group of friends. But those friends didn't necessarily give her anything not to be confrontational about.
Yeah.
And then kind of same thing with the sister, like now holding the student loans over her head. I don't I don't think anyone accidentally finds text messages on somebody's phone. I think that maybe she was looking for that kind of stuff. I don't know. But
Well, it could be like I'm just playing out.
Yeah.
Like, you hear like forget her phone, just like, "Oh, what is this?" Oh, you pick it up, you see
Yeah.
the messages.
yeah, we'll give them the
Done.
benefit of the doubt. Let's read some comments.
Yeah.
One commenter says, "So your sister only cared to have you pay her loans. That is why she kept it a secret, and that's why
Yeah.
you shouldn't feel bad cutting her off. She needs to ask your lovely ex and his wife to foot the bill from here on out, not
Yeah.
the asshole." The
Absolutely.
original poster said, "I know. She clearly chose a side during the divorce, but pretended to be on mine for the money." Another commenter says, "Not the asshole. Anyone who sides with the cheater is probably a cheater themselves. Maybe your sister can ask your ex and his wife to help instead of seeing how they are best friends. It's strange." She responds,
Mhm.
"It's strange, and I honestly don't know what level of pretty privilege this is, but no one seems to care what they did. They see two attractive people and act like that justifies everything. The cheating doesn't matter because they're easy to look at. If nothing else, it made it a lot easier for me to cut a lot of people out of my life. Another commenter asked, why the hell do your parents agree with your sister? I hope you get some therapy to deal with all the users in your life, not the asshole. My ex and my sister were pretty close all those years we were married. I mean, she's known him since she was a kid, so they think it's not fair for me to want to cut him off completely. I would have been fine with just that, but again, she hid this for 6 years, and being close friends with his wife is just pushing it too far.
I have a question. Why parents don't pay for sisters' needs, whatever? Like, why sister must pay for it? Because she have more money?
I don't think that's really the issue here. I don't think they're going to touch on that.
I like that idea that like, oh,
But yeah, like the
for
parents are siding
sister-
with the sister, then why
no,
don't you
no,
just pay the loan?
the sister, like, I don't care that you was hurt. I don't care that you would cheat on. I don't care about that. I don't care. I'm friends with them. I mean, she's a separate person. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
But she can pay own bills. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe they break it down further, but
Yeah, we'll
I'm going to
see.
check the chat real fast.
Yeah.
It's been a 6-year period. Nuance is definitely a part of it, CJ said. Why isn't her sister paying for her own loans? Well, CJ, I would love a sugar brother or a sugar sister or a sugar friend. So if you're out there and you want to help us pay our bills, package deal here. We have a Venmo right up there. Be our sugar daddy.
Yeah, no, it's have sense. It's have sense.
Right.
Like, you use your sister. Like, I understand you want to be friends with whatever you adult person you can do. She's like 29 or something, right? The sister. But then deal with that. And I like the one the commenters come and say that she can go and ask the husband and new wife pay for her bills. Her bills. You know what I mean? If they're so good friends. I don't really understand that, like, oh, there's a pretty privilege. So they're trying to say they're both really pretty?
Yeah, they're good-looking people. Like, sometimes good-looking people could get away with bad stuff. Tomato soup.
Yeah. That's true.
Update?
Update.
All right. This is my first and last update. So I spoke to my sister again. She apologized for reacting that way last time. Also for keeping it from me all these years. She said she didn't tell me because she knew I would ask her to choose and she didn't want to be in that position. She said she never wanted to hurt me, but at the same time, she couldn't bring herself to walk away from the people who had been there for her. Aww. She said it never felt fair to cut him off completely. Growing up, our parents were barely around. They were always busy with work, and for a long time, it was just me and my ex who were actually present in her life. He was like family to her. And then she brought up the accident she was in around 5 years ago. I knew about it, of course. She had multiple fractures, hematomas, and internal bruising. She was in a hospital for a while and bedridden for weeks. I always assumed our parents were taking care of her. I never asked and I never really checked in. I was too busy trying to manage a recent divorce, a small child, a career, and whatever was left of my mental health. She said it was my ex's wife who stepped up. She took her to every appointment, picked up prescriptions, brought food, helped her move around, stayed with her when she couldn't be alone. And at one point she said, I know it hurts you, but she was there. He was there. You weren't. You didn't even come to the hospital. I thought I was gonna die and you didn't even show up. She cried while telling me all of this. She said she still wants a relationship with me, but she's not going to cut them off. She also said she's fine with me not helping her with the loans anymore. She's planning to get a part-time job and figure it out herself. She told my ex and the wife about our conversation. Apparently they offered to help her financially, but she turned it down too. I just listened. Then I told her she's free to do whatever she wants, and so am I, and to never call me again. So that's where we are. Okay, so that's different. So to kind of sum that up, she got in a really bad accident. She was already close with the ex-husband, and the ex-husband's current wife helped her out. They helped her take her to her appointments, all that stuff. All the stuff that the sister could have done, but the sister said she was going through her own things. She was going through a divorce, had the kid, trying to figure out her life, and she didn't have time to go to the hospital. Like, I understand, in a weird way, I understand that. Like, you should be there for your family, but like sometimes life happens and you prioritize different things.
Yeah.
That being said, you got to be prepared to deal with the consequences of your actions. So if you choose to not be supportive, like, and other people step in, she's going to grow a closer relationship with those people. It just all around stinks. Like, sorry to hear that about her sister. But yeah, just to sum it up, like, the sister was going through stuff. She grew close with them because they helped out. And then at the end, she still cut her sister off.
Well, I think the adult people need to do that things. Like, just deal with the situation. And if you don't feel like it's close, like your close friend or family member that you want to be close with, just cut them off. Cut them off. If they not, like, if the OP not really care about the sister, even if we're talking about only that moment because she's paid her loan,
Yeah.
so she's kind of care about her. Parents work but not help. Okay, cool. Why parents not help her?
I don't know, but these people stepped in. Like, her sister's
Yeah.
ex-husband.
And I think, you know what? I maybe selfish, not selfishly, but kind of like, I don't like this idea, and I think I feel bad because if people betrayed, they not good people, and I don't believe they're just like, oh, from a good gesture we're gonna do this for you because we so much love you. They already bad people. They not good people. They can't be good people.
I mean, they could be
They
good people
can't.
that do stupid
They
things.
can't. They can't.
Well, either way, they helped her out, and they chose sides,
Yeah.
and that's what happened. I'm gonna check the chat real fast.
Yeah, please.
See. CJ says, I've known a lot of bad-looking people that get away with bad stuff, myself included. Couldn't agree more, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't know, CJ and I have a relationship that spans, like, if
Just
not over,
have a relationship. That's enough.
we've been friends, if not over, just shy of a decade. Oh, Rodney's on there. Hey, Rodney, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Bingo. I don't know what you're referring to. Oh, okay. He wrote, CJ responded, so true. Rad, are you so right? And then Rodney says, I just be yapping. He do be yapping. We have footage of that. But we like your yapping here at Good Soup Productions. So thank you, Rodney. But yeah, no, it's just a messed up situation all around. Like, she feels betrayed by her sister, but her sister got support from the people that she feels betrayed by, because it's just a whole web of mess. Let's see. One of the commenters wrote, it's a downvoted commenter, it says, ha 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 ha, you didn't even ask if your sister was dead. With friends like you, who needs enemies? Okay. She wrote back, I have a 5-year-old, a full-time job, and a brain that was barely holding it together. I texted her, but no, I didn't go to the hospital. I assumed our parents were taking care of her. I was wrong. I'm not defending it.
Okay. that
Choices
makes
were
sense.
made.
Yeah.
Choices were made. Love you too, Rodney. Another commenter. Nothing in her excuses, addresses why she would befriend the woman your ex cheated with her before her accident. She said she responds, she said they weren't friends before the accident. She was just cordial to her. They only became close after the accident.
I probably not take any help from a people who's hurt some. So, for example, imagine someone bumped me in the head with a metal pipe, and then I don't know, have a flu, and this person who bumped me with a metal
metal pipe that I had comes to you and just like, oh, there's the pills for you. Let's go be friends. You know what I mean?
It's a very dramatic example.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it
That
as dramatic as
involves
possible.
violence and
And you
influence.
just and you just like, oh, thank you. Now you're my best friend. Oh, I'm gonna tell that you helped me with my flu.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
it makes sense.
Like I'm not taking help from a people who did something bad to someone who I related or love. No, go away. I'm willing to die than take the help from someone like you.
Reddit Creeks writes, I feel like a lot of Reddit stories are fan fiction. Really good
Probably.
fan fiction, though. Yeah, probably, man.
Probably, yeah.
But I think, like, if you find a good story that opens up, like, good dialogue, I think that's what matters. I mean, but then again, like, some of these situations aren't that far-fetched.
Yep.
I mean, like, relatives still being close with your exes, like, you know what I mean? Accepting help from people that you shouldn't because they hurt someone in your family, or being close to somebody that hurt someone in your family. Like, even if this isn't like a true word for word true story, like,
Situation like this can be really
definitely
realistic.
happen.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it could definitely happen. And you know what? You know what, man? If it's on the internet, it's true. I'm just kidding. um, but yeah, then there's the whole thing about like her accepting money for the student loans. Like, we barely even touched on that. Like, even if she did get close to these people and these people kind of nursed her back to health, so
Yeah, but
quote,
she's
unquote,
still, yeah.
she was still accepting the money for the student loans.
And she been with her sister. She just don't tell her that.
Right. Thanks for the money.
Yeah.
One commenter says, BS. She's been feeding X and his mistress info about you for years. She has betrayed you on multiple levels for years. Example, she ran right to them to tell you, cut her off, etc. Told them word for word with her twist, your whole exchange. She also clearly a sympathy junkie and milks everyone for money, meals, rides, support, etc. She only kept quiet to keep your money flowing. My prediction, now the information highway has dried up, your ex and his mistress turned partner loses interest in sister real fast. His mistress / partner will especially be over sister if your ex starts giving sister money when the part-time job doesn't happen. You watch. It was fun for the three of them watching you spend your money on her, knowing you were being played. But the mistress won't think it's funny watching her watching her partner start supporting unemployed sister now. The betrayal's out in the open. My question is, did your son know about sister being tight with them? And did they ask him to lie for them? There's no response, but that's a good point too. Like, we didn't even ask about the son. Like, the son obviously didn't say anything. But I mean, he's a kid, so like, you can't really, even if he knew and they told him to be quiet, like, he's a kid. He's not really responsible for that. I don't even think the kid's worth talking about in this particular discussion, other than the fact that hopefully he didn't get twisted up in whatever situation this is.
And being like, honestly, I really hope that parents keep their trouble in between them. It's always complicated, I believe, when parents have anything in between them, because kid thing, it's because of them, even if it's not. It's awful. It's awful. It's a horrible story.
It's awful.
Awful story.
Awful.
Awful. Okay, what do you think about today?
I think you need to go to work early so you can put your food in the fridge before everyone else.
Cut off Mary from your work schedule.
No work spouses. It's bullshit. Protect yourself. What was the other one?
I don't remember the first one.
The first one was boring.
Boring.
Boo. Whoever you were, your story sucks. What was the story? My coworker got fired because I stopped giving them rides to work. You did the right thing. Shut up. If you want to know what we're talking about, check the recap when they put the video up on YouTube. You'll see it in the beginning.
It's kind of weird. Like, you definitely understand you're not an asshole.
Yeah, that's a sympathy junkie.
Yeah.
That's fan fiction.
That's realistic. That's realistic. But
Yeah, no. I mean, don't be a dirty ass coworker. Just be a dirty ass at home.
no, please don't.
No. I'm not saying me. I'm saying whoever's watching.
No, still no. Still no.
But geez, at this point, Maria, do you have anything for whoever's watching? The people.
The people
The people.
who's watching. I think I already say that, but I said it again. I think this Reddit stories it's really interesting to discuss because even if it's fake, it's give you the kind of outlet to take this emotions. It's like a movie.
Yeah, I think it's a good launching pad for like discussions too.
Yeah, because opinion like a shit. Everyone have it, and just sometimes need to let it go.
Yes.
Because if you hold it for so long, you can just have trouble. Um, and it's interesting, for example, between you and me, to read that, and we sometimes have the same opinion, sometimes not. It's interesting how you view that story, how I view that story, and of course, your comments really help because you also involved in this conversation
Sure.
and interesting your opinion. And we're probably gonna do more. I don't know if we're gonna do live or we're gonna do just recording, but definitely send the comments. It's interesting. I like to consume this kind of a content
Yeah.
from a different content creators, and sometimes they find really stories that you have your eyes like just pops out from your eye socket, just like pow, like a cartoon character because it's crazy. And sometimes you think, oh, yeah, that's fake. What do you think?
I said what I thought. You weren't paying attention.
No, I don't.
You're tired.
I'm so tired.
Well, we're gonna sign off, guys. If you're still watching, thanks for watching. If you didn't, thanks for watching anyway. And if you want to be our sugar daddy, there's the link right up there. We love you. Good night.
Nighty nighty.